I guess if he's been marketing since 2001, like, good for you. You've been doing this for 20 years. You know what you're talking about, but you don't have to be an insufferable dick about it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nicole Reacts, where I, Nicole, react to online marketing gurus that I find on the internet. My qualifications for snarky commentary that I've owned a marketing company for 15 years in that time, having worked with hundreds of clients on marketing strategy and implementation. So I have a fair bit of content knowledge and experience with things like content marketing, social media, email, blogging, search engine optimization, and related topics. If you feel so moved, I've been doing these videos for over a year now. If you like this content, I hope you consider subscribing. And if you want to see other videos in this series, you can check out the YouTube channel. There's a Nicole Reacts to Online Marketing Gurus playlist. Also, if you go to our blog, there's a Nicole Reacts category, and you can click on that and see everything there as well. So today's person is Neil Patel. Now, I had mentioned a few months ago when I was reacting to Jeff Bullas that Neil Patel was on the reaction list, and he has been. But the other day I went to Answer the Public, which is one of my favorite websites to direct people to when they want to think about content. Because basically you type in a word and it gives you, some questions that people are looking up in search. So, what questions do people have on this topic, which is a really great start if you're thinking about making content. So I went to the website and got this jump scare. Prepare yourself. So Neil Patel owns a product when his face is on the website. And what's funny is before Neil Patel bought it, I know there was a limit to how many searches you could do. I think it was like 10 a month. But now there's pricing. Like, of course there is. And look at that little countdown timer. So $9 a month, you get 100 searches per day. And he's like yelling about hating subscriptions. And then he's offering subscriptions. Let's pretend I'm buying it for the lifetime. $99 per lifetime? One-time payment, no monthly fees? Interesting. So I guess lifetime is only for individual use. So Answer the Public is where you would go and type in like a word or a phrase, and it would give you questions that people were typing into search engines about that topic. It was really a nice way to kind of see maybe what content you should be adding to your website, answering the questions that people are asking related to your industry, maybe content you could be creating for social media, that kind of thing. So it's still a good resource. I'm just saying that, it's kind of like when Microsoft buys something or when some big company buys a product that you formerly used to love, you kind of look at it and say, well, I hope this goes well. Anyway, what I think is really interesting about Neil Patel is he does not have a Wikipedia page, but he has a whole blog entry about how to create a Wikipedia page. There's apparently other people named Neil Patel in other industries, but there was nothing about this particular Neil Patel. So essentially, kind of what I know about this guy is that he's been in the sort of website optimization search engine space mainly. He writes very long blog posts about how to do stuff, and he does have kind of very tutorial content, although most of his YouTube content in the last little while has shifted toward 5 to 7 minute videos. And I didn't necessarily want to react to something that was that short or figure out which videos were worth reacting to. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to watch a video that's a little bit older. It's 4 years old. And I picked it for this ridiculous title. You ready? This is what it's called. How to create a digital product that generates at least $100,000 per month. Sounds like an income claim, but okay. Now, I'm one of those people who I'm like, I appreciate Neil Patel's resources and all that, but then he comes out with content with this scammy title. So I feel like he's sort of drifting into guru land with stuff like this, and I don't really like it. I will reserve my judgments, obviously, for when I watch the video. Now, fun and unexpected fact, Neil Patel and I had a shared client once. Well, I know this because, when you go into a Meta Business Suite and when you manage a Facebook page, you can see which other people are also associated with the company. And his company was back there along with my company. So we're going to throw that aside. But I have lightly crossed paths with Neil Patel in life, which who knew, right? So this video is approximately 50 minutes. So we'll see if we can get through it in one go. If not, I'll divide this into two parts as usual. So get your favorite beverage. We're going to, like I said, try out the Bluetooth headphones here. So I'll have a little bit more freedom of movement. Maybe I'll wear earrings next time or something crazy. But anyway, let's hear from Neil Patel about how we're just suckers for not making $100,000 a month selling a digital product.
How are you guys doing? Awesome. So how many of you guys here have ever created a digital product and sold it online? Well, I have some good news for you and some bad news. Which do you guys want first?
Bad news. Bad news first.
The bad news is what I'm going to teach you requires you to do some work.
Well,
All
yeah.
right? And I know affiliates hate doing work. You want to know the good news?
You know, I think there's this whole idea that like we all want to get rich quick, but I think most of us understand that like if we're going to make money, we have to put in the time. What we don't want to do is put in time doing stuff that's unethical or stuff that's essentially the guru giving us busy work that doesn't do anything. So we're not opposed to working. This whole like, I know you affiliates don't like to work. I don't know. A little
Good
gross.
news now?
Yeah.
The good news is when you promote a digital product, you pretty much have something that has 100% margins, right? So when you're doing advertising, you're selling something, what's your cost? Pretty much nothing. It's just the hosting.
And the advertising and the developing of the product and the maintaining of the product. Like even a digital product has some costs with it.
After you create the product, of course.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Today,
Well, and also you have to maintain the product, especially if you're like, you know, you developed like a SaaS product, you know, software as solution. You can't just like develop it and be like, okay, I'm done. You have to be like improving it. You're going to be getting support tickets from customers who bought the product, needing help with it. You know, it's not just set it and forget it. There's harder ways to make money, but he's acting like you have no costs. But I think this whole like $100,000 a month at least is like ridiculous.
I'm going to teach you guys how to create a digital product that generates at least $100,000 a month. Here's my Twitter handle. You don't have to tweet. If you do, my assistant will probably reply to you because I haven't used Twitter in ages.
I have an assistant. Oh my God. I don't know how I'm going to stand this whole thing.
This still works. So here's a screenshot of daily revenue. I don't even know what it says. Last 30 days. Based on the dates, it's probably not the last 30 days because we're not in August. But you can see the trend, and it keeps going up and up. Yesterday was...
I don't, if you can't see the product price, it's $997. I know. Shocker. A price ending in a 7. Tick that off on your guru bingo card.
What day is today? Monday? It was funny. On Saturday in the US, I was checking the stats, and we sold something like 36 digital products in a day. And I'm like, this isn't too bad for a Saturday. I actually didn't even spend much money on advertising. I think it was $3,000 something. I also have a lot of organic traffic. Can you guess how much I sell the digital product for? $1,000 a pop. It's not too shabby, right?
So he has over 1 million YouTube subscribers, and he has a website that's at least 10 years old with a ton of like search traffic heading to it. And he's selling 36 products in a day. So imagine the amount of traffic that you and I would have to get on our websites and the amount of authority we'd have to build and all that to sell a $1,000 product. What is this? I'll be very curious what this product is. $1,000 for an online product seems high to me, but I guess it depends what it is. So,
and when I say those sales, that's after refunds. So let's get started. I'm going to teach you guys.
That seems kind of high. I don't know what the online refund rate is for products. Let me just look really quick. All right, so this is interesting. I just looked this up. So 3 out of 36 is 8%. And depending on, so Shopify says the average e-commerce return rate is between 5 and 15%. And this other site says it's an average of 20 to 30%. I mean, at least he offers a refund program. We know Marie Forleo doesn't. So I guess we can give him some credit for at least offering a refund.
You guys how to make money selling a digital product. First step, what industry should you enter? And I'm going to go quick because there's so many slides. I picked the digital marketing industry. Can you see what's wrong with the digital marketing industry? It was too late when I started. If I picked something like nutrition, I would have sold so many more ebooks.
How was it too late for digital marketing when he started? Okay, so it looks like Neil Patel, according to Inc.com, started learning digital marketing at 16 in 2001. And he says he learned digital marketing too late. I think we can argue that he was ahead of the curve here, and that's probably partially why he's one of the more successful people in the space. So he doesn't think nutrition is like a dead horse beaten, but he thinks online marketing is. It's interesting. I don't know if I agree with that.
So many more video courses.
I get that more people are interested in nutrition because obviously we all like everybody has to eat whether they own a business or not or own a website or not. So maybe making a product that's more broadly applicable like to most people is a way to increase your sales because you can sell it to more people. Maybe that's where he's going.
You see why? It's so much more popular. You just go to Google Trends, type in a niche like flashlights, and you can see how popular something is. All right?
I like Google Trends. It's a useful tool, especially to illustrate to clients that, you know, there is relative popularity of terms and that popularity of terms can change over time. It's not always this cyclic. It's so funny because it looks like it goes down and back up. I'm wondering if it always goes up like around the new year, you know, because people are like, you know, in January, they're like, oh, I need to get healthy or something. And they get interested in nutrition and then it kind of plummets toward the holidays. I can't tell if that's written really small, but I'm just sort of hypothesizing. The trend that to show this, if you ever want to show it to a client, you can type in Halloween costume or something like that. People are only searching Halloween costumes like the last week of October every single year. So you can also do this with your National Men's Day. It's only ever searched for on National Women's Day. So there's certain things that have blips, and then there's certain things that are sort of upward trending. They're becoming more popular. So maybe the term influencer is becoming more popular over time, especially since it, I think, entered the dictionary in what, 2017 as like a term, you know, that we use to talk about what we now know as influencers. Um, and then some things are trending downward, like, you know, cool slang from the 90s that we don't really use anymore is probably trending downwards. I'm trying to think of one right now. Cool beans, maybe? Maybe cool beans is trending downward. Anyway, so some things are cyclic, some things are trending up, some things are trending down, some things are all over the place. But Google Trends, and it's great. It's a free tool. You see it has like nutrition and digital marketing. You can compare up to 5 items at a time. So you can look at things and then say, oh, this one's way low. You can knock that one out, add a different one in for the 5th thing that you compare.
So when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're not competing with marketers. You know how hard it is to compete in the digital marketing space? You're competing with people like me. I found out the other day my
Yeah, I got one of your clients, so, and I'm nobody.
assistant was telling me, you know, like, hey, you got Bangkok coming.
I mean, he sucked, but competition's a weird word to me, mainly because what I always tell myself and I remind myself is that if everyone on earth came to me for marketing help, I wouldn't be able to help them. Like I wouldn't have the capacity to do that. So the reason that there's lots of other people who do this is because people need help with it and they need different kinds of help. And if there's a lot of people who need help, there need to be a lot of people available to help them. So you have to compete with me. Yeah, Neil Patel, I am competing with you. I took one of your clients, he sucked and I dumped him. So there you go.
Coming up, I've been traveling a lot. I did Brazil, Australia, Toronto, then here. And I haven't been home in months. And throughout the traveling, he's like, oh, you're going to Affiliate World Asia. You're trying to get more involved in the affiliate space. I'm like, why would you say that? Because I make all my money from the Fortune 1000. He's like, oh, you rank on Google for affiliate marketing on the first page. I was like, huh, good to know. I never knew that, right? But it just shows you, us marketers, we know how to drive traffic from places like Google. You guys are marketers. Do you want to compete with the person? Turn to your right and turn to your left. Do you want to compete with that person to drive traffic to offer? No, pick something that's not as competitive.
We also offer different things and maybe we have different specialties. Like, you know, if I'm doing local business marketing, you know, I'm mostly competing in the local marketing space. Or if I'm helping real estate agents, I'm mostly competing with marketers who specialize in real estate. You're not competing with everyone. The idea that an industry this big is this cutthroat when there's so many different ways to be good at it and there's so many different ways to serve people is so weird to me.
Here's the example. This is organic traffic. This is one of my blogs, Quick Sprout. Another one, Wellness Mama. Wellness Mama is not my blog. It's a blog by this mother who talks about how to make your own suntan lotion at home. She gets 10 million unique visitors a month. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. You're going to talk about wearing goggles tonight at bed, right? Like she wears goggles to bed, or she has some article about that. I'm like, why would you wear water goggles to bed? And why would you make your own sunscreen when you can buy that shit for $5?
I don't know what sunscreen you're buying, but my sunscreen's more expensive than that.
Right? But yeah, she gets 10 million visitors talking about that shit. And look how many links she has at the very bottom column. Total linking root domains. She has 757. I have over 1,815. That's the primary driver of Google traffic. Can you guess the difference, even though I have more than double the links of her?
She has more links from different sources, or she has more links that are associated with keywords, or she has more links that are driving traffic to specific internal pages of her website and not just her homepage. Those are my three hypotheses.
She gets over 10 million unique visitors a month, and I'm at 1 million. Do you see why you want to pick a really broad niche? All right, so now that you know.
So don't go after marketing because we're competitive, aka don't compete with me. But also you want to be broad. So okay.
Know that, right? You gotta make sure whatever niche you pick, you know really well. You have to be an expert at it. I tried creating a nutrition website for fun, for shits and giggles. I actually got a lot of traffic. I didn't make really much money after it because, like, after I started selling fish oil pills, made over 100 grand a month. I didn't give a shit about it. Why? I'm not an expert in nutrition.
God, this guy is off. Like, I did this thing for shits and giggles. I made $100,000 a month, but it like wasn't challenging to me. And I don't know anything about nutrition. I don't like the way he's talking about, people who are visiting his website. I don't like the way he was talking about the woman who has a blog that's in a completely different category to him. I feel like nutrition is as competitive as marketing. I'll be honest with you.
I don't care for it. Marketing, I do way better, but I love it.
Me
So
too.
once you figure out your niche, you need to pick a product that you should create. Don't just create any product, right? You have to create a product that helps people. If it doesn't help people, you're not going to do too well. If people buy your shit and it doesn't help them, what are they going to do? At least in the US. In Brazil, they don't really do this. They'll refund in the US. You'll get like 20% refund rates.
Okay, so 20% refund rates. And he must be talking to a Brazilian audience. I'm guessing that was based on that little aside. Maybe you're not allowed to return digital products in Brazil or something. I don't know. That's
In Brazil, you won't even get 5% refund rates when you have a shit product. Japan, they don't believe in refunds. You can have the shittiest product ever and you won't even get one refund. I should not be telling you guys this. I can see you guys all entering the Japanese market tomorrow. You're like, cha-ching. You're like, oh, we can spend more on ad dollars. There won't be any refunds.
That's a little dark.
You're like, then you guys don't need to rotate up your credit card processors because you don't get the chargebacks either, right? I know you guys do that kind of stuff too. I don't know how you guys do that stuff, but it's kind of interesting. You know what's funny? On a side note, all these US affiliate marketers, how many of you guys are from the US? They all moved to the US Virgin Islands so they don't have to pay taxes. Have you guys heard about that? These affiliates are stupid as shit. Why would you move to the US Virgin Islands when you can
set up a corporation in Malta? I don't know. I think people sometimes are like, okay, I'm not ready to give up my entire country yet. Maybe I want to also live someplace warm. I don't know. I literally think that's probably all there is to it.
set up a corporation in Malta? They charge you 5% tax and you can still live in the US 100% of the time. Don't take your advice from affiliates. Take them from bankers. Go find that guy who went to Harvard. Learn finance shit from him. Let the affiliate marketers teach you how to make money.
Where is he learning his financial shit from? Like he gave us a financial advice to set up a corporation in Malta. He's like passing it on, but I don't know the source of it. So I'm a little bit like, okay, where's this coming from?
And not get chargebacks. All right. So I love affiliate marketing though, although I don't do much of it. So when you're trying to figure out a product to create, why not ask people? They can give you feedback. They can tell you what kind of stuff they want to end up buying. All right. So survey your readers, ask them some things like, and if you don't have readers, go find who you can target on Facebook and ask them questions. What's the biggest problem I can help you solve? What's the biggest challenge you're trying to overcome? You can use tools like Qualaroo and SurveyMonkey. And if you don't have readers, just survey people, anyone within industry, pick up the phone, Craigslist, whatever it may be, your friend. You want to make sure you survey at least 30 people. Why? It has to be statistically significant. Now you want to get into building a product and making money. I'm going to show you guys some crafty stuff too. Don't try that shit on me. It won't work, but it'll work on everyone you already advertised to on Facebook.
He's not like other marketers. Like, he can build a website about a topic he knows nothing about and make $100,000. These ad tricks are not going to work on him, but they're going to work on everybody else. I don't know, Neil.
All right. So first off, I can't emphasize this more than anything else. Build something you can be proud of. It's longevity. You'll be happy when you build something that you can put your face on. You know, those affiliates who are like, oh, hey,
Put your face on, like he does on every website product he has. His head, literally. I guess if he's been marketing since 2001, like, good for you. You've been doing this for 20 years. You know what you're talking about, but you don't have to be an insufferable dick about it.
oh yeah, I don't want anyone knowing this is my company. Don't build a product if you can't tell people it's your company. If you can be proud of it and put your face on it, you're good to go.
Put your face on it.
All right, so here's a few lessons I learned. A customer should be able to finish your product within 3 months, right? But not quicker than 1 month. When you have a
Digital product. Okay, so I'm guessing he means a course. But I guess when someone says a digital product, to me, that could be an ebook, that could be like a movie, like a, something that I consume online in some way. I don't know why he's assuming this is a course.
digital product, when they finish it before 1 month, what happens? Too many refunds. When it takes more than 3 months, what happens? They think it's too much work. You guys can all relate to that, right? If you tell people it's too much work, are they going to do something? No. That's why affiliates don't start their own e-commerce companies. It's very rare. And the guys who I do look at starting e-commerce companies, it was funny. I met one guy who is selling like this anti-aging cream, and he was crushing it on Facebook. He was doing literally over $4 million a month. He ran an anti-aging cream. You know what he did? He went to Costco and filled up Neutrogena like cream in his bottles. And I'm like, he's like, I got to pay my Ferrari bills.
That's not funny. That's not funny at all. That's fraud.
It's sad, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny for those people who spent probably more than Neutrogena money to get a cream that they thought was superior. Gross. What a morally bankrupt asshole.
So another thing I learned, videos and audio files and worksheets have more value than text-based documents. So pay people to create these videos and audio files for you. Don't overwhelm people with too much information. Make sure it's actionable. And create a membership portal, right, through simple tools. Email, WP member, simple tools like this.
So he's like a WordPress guy, Neil Patel. So I'm guessing WP member is a plugin that does memberships on your WordPress website. I'm guessing that's what he's referring to here. But you don't need a WordPress website to have a membership website. There's tons of tools out there.
The last thing you want to do is go pay someone a shitload of money, create a membership portal, and not generate too much income.
But you were saying to pay people to do the videos. So why can't people do their own videos? I'm not sure why he's saying pay someone to edit videos, but don't pay someone to build your membership portal. I say if you have the money and you don't have the time to figure it out, pay for the parts that you don't want to figure out or like don't have time to do.
Here's an example of my membership portal. We're using WP member. I use a guy named Volvo. It's not like the car. I thought it was. I would email him saying, hey, Volvo. And he's like, my name's Volvo, V-O-V-O. I was like, oh, my bad. He created this. $1,000. It's not too shabby, right? It looks pretty good. It even has videos too. Then you got to figure out how much you should charge.
So he's saying find someone in another country whose name you're going to pronounce wrong and underpay them for what they do. Cool.
In general, you don't want to charge less than $1,000. $1,000 is a good starting point because when you start charging $1,000, you can end up generating quite a bit of cash from.
Yeah, no kidding. Each order is $1,000. Yeah, you get 30 of them. That's $30,000.
Facebook, and typically for every dollar you spend, if you suck at Facebook ads, you should be able to generate $2, so $1 in profit. If you're good, you'll be able to do $3 for every dollar you spend, so $2 in profit. If you're really good, like I've seen a few guys, they're doing $5
You guys, huh?
in revenue for every dollar they spend.
Yeah, I've done that before.
And they're doing it in quantity on Facebook where they're spending like $20,000, $30,000 a day, which is good money, right? It's just like how much.
But you'd spend $20,000 if you'd make $60,000, right? Like, I mean, all of us would do that. The problem is that we don't have the $20,000 to start with. What you can do, by the way, if you want to like test like how good you are at this, is when you set up your ad, you can pick basically the kind of ad you want to set up, like what's the outcome you want to pay for, and you can pick that you want to pay for a conversion. And a conversion means somebody who like goes through and checks out on your website. So obviously for Facebook to know that that happened, you have to integrate your website in with Facebook or whatever advertising platform you're going to use, right? They need to know that the person started at Facebook and then they finished the checkout process. I think that's typically done. You set up the pixel, and one of the events you're tracking is purchases. So anyway, point being, you pick conversion, and let's say that your average order value is $25. And so then you say, okay, in the ad, I'm going to pick conversion, and you can set a ceiling limit that you're willing to pay for that conversion. So let's say that you're willing to pay up to $10 for someone to buy the product. What you can do is set up the ad set, say we're willing to pay maximum $10 for the conversion, and let it run. And the absolute worst case scenario is you will get no conversion, so you won't pay anything. That's like the absolute worst case scenario. And what that would tell you is that you put a ceiling on how much you're willing to spend. You said $10. Maybe it wasn't high enough. Maybe you need to go higher. So maybe you decide to run the ad again and say, you know what, let's try $15 for a conversion. Oh, got a couple of sales. Great. They spent at least $25 as they normally do. Wonderful. You've paid $20 to make $50. You know, like I said, if it's a $25 sale. I'm overly simplifying this, but you can test how effective you are at running ads by just doing a little experiment like that. I mean, I'm not saying that the thing that I do for a living is like super easy, but it's not brain surgery either. And like I said, if you're running ads incorrectly and you're paying for a conversion outcome, you're only going to pay when someone checks out on the website, like when someone pays for something. So you really don't have much to lose in that way.
How much more can you spend? And you know what the best part about this is? Guess how many Facebook ad accounts they have? One. They don't have to churn and burn or anything.
Yeah, so this is what scammy people do, is they have multiple Facebook accounts they run ads from, and then if they do something nefarious and one of their accounts gets banned, they just move on to another one. I only have one ad account for each client. This has never been a problem for me.
The stuff I'm going to show you works with just one Facebook account. You don't have to buy more and more, have people set them up for you.
And there was a thing a few years ago that people were offering to buy access. You know, they'd be like, hey, can I use your ad account? I'll pay you $5,000 to be able to use your ad account. So those of us who have ad accounts in good standing were getting offers for people to come in and borrow our ad accounts. And I was like, no, like you're basically borrowing my reputation is what you're doing. So the fact that he knows about all this stuff, or he knows it's a problem and is acknowledging it on this stage, to me tells me that he's willing to do some unscrupulous things to get ahead. And I don't like that.
So a quick case study, Ramit Sethi from I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He ended up breaking down how he made $5 million in a week from selling a digital product. He pretty much broke down, if you sell a product for $5, look how many units you have to sell, right? You pretty much have to sell a shitload. You need a lot of visitors.
He also has a giant audience. Like, these people are like talking like you and I can do this. We don't have giant audiences. We don't have this traffic or this, email list to be building off of.
Roughly 100 million to generate $5 million. Or if you sell a $2,000 product, you only need 250,000 visitors, which is more realistic. Might as well just go for the 250. So here's a few pricing lessons I learned. Product needs to be at least $1,000.
Gross.
over $3,000 doesn't sell well without a sales team. So make it under 3,000 bucks. Make sure you're giving enough value at those price points, and make sure your product keeps getting better and better over time by adding bonuses. It helps keep people there. So let's go into how you sell the product. This is the most important part, right? Because you already know you can drive the traffic. It's just about creating something and selling the shit out of it. So first, you can use affiliate products. I love Brazil. It's the easiest. Hotmart is one of my favorite ones. ClickBank's another really good one. Because the thing with Hotmart that I learned, and I have no affiliation with them. In Brazil, did you know you can do payment plans, like 14, 24 payments, and the person has to pay each and every single one and they can't back out? That's pretty cool, right? Your product can now be...
So somebody is buying your $1,000 product. They don't have the money. And so you're going to charge them for 2 years for them to pay off that product. Maybe I'm not rich because I'm not willing to do this. It feels really gross.
Be really affordable to people. So, you know, I've done a ton of this, and I've done it all on a blog. So here's my Brazil version you can end up checking out. If you don't read Portuguese, it's okay. I don't either, but you can get the point of it. So I give a ton of free marketing tips. And then from there, I start collecting emails. I collect emails, then I send them to a product called Webinar Jam. Webinar Jam is a webinar tool that you can sell on. Then I create a PowerPoint, and then I create a follow-up sequence. PowerPoint tips should be at least 1.5 hours long, spend at least 40 minutes educating, then have at least 20 minutes of your sales pitch, have Q&A at the end, and then through Webinar Jam, you show a buy button at the right price. And I'm going through this fast, and the reason being because I'm going to show you a real-life example of this. So let me show you how my presentation works, all right? How I built 4 multi-million-dollar companies from free traffic anyone can access. Funny enough, I also use YouTube ads to promote this. The number one comment on the YouTube ads is, if you can build 4 multi-million-dollar companies through free traffic anyone could get access to, why are you advertising on, not YouTube, Facebook? Everyone's like, why are you advertising on Facebook? Exactly. Have you guys seen my ads on Facebook?
Yep.
Yeah. Converts really well. I make more off the free traffic than Facebook, but it's because I'm not too aggressive. That's my fault.
I could do better at this, but, you know, I'm not too aggressive. So, you know, if I was more aggressive, I'd make more money. Okay.
Believe in like selling too hard.
You don't believe in selling too hard? What do you think? Really? Really?
So the first part, I get into my goal. My goal is to help you with X, Y, and Z, right? By the end of this, you should know how to do A, B, and C. And then if you stay till the end, this is me pitching you guys. If you stay till the end, I'm also going to give you notes, but also a framework that's going to teach you 22 ways you can implement this on your business and drive more traffic. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Neil Patel, yada, yada, yada. Check out some.
Okay. Co-founder of Crazy Egg, Kissmetrics, Quick Sprout, and Hello Bar. Okay. I've heard of Kissmetrics and I've heard of Quick Sprout. I haven't heard of the other two, but that doesn't mean anything. I've helped companies like Amazon, NBC, GM, HP, and Viacom grow their revenue. Oh my God. I've also worked with Facebook, Microsoft, eBay, Yahoo, Salesforce, and Intuit. Helped Cheeseburger Media reach 500 million page views a month. I was recognized as a top 100 entrepreneur by the age of 30 by President Obama. Okay.
My accolades, awards, my bio about.
Some testimonials. Yahoo says, you can't say enough good things about Neil. Neil is great at converting visitors into customers. Microsoft. Oh my God. That's right. Literal corporations.
About me.
Not people at corporations, just the corporations themselves.
You know, and the reason I'm telling you this is not to brag.
Oh, it's not?
More so to show you that the knowledge I have is actually valuable and it works. And that's...
Yeah, you're speaking at this conference. Here's the thing. Like, if I'm at a conference and you're speaking, I have read your bio or I've read the description of the talk, and I'm assuming you're an authority on it. So I don't get why we're spending, you know, multiple minutes about how great you are. Like, I've already decided I'm here to learn something. This isn't a sales video on the internet, right? This is a talk at a conference.
And that's why you should listen to me. Keep in mind, again, to repeat it for all you guys who aren't listening, this is me giving the pitch. It's a recorded version, right? Then I go in testimonials. Then I go into Tim Sykes, how I helped him get $15 million in revenue. I took him from...
Okay, got it. So when he sends traffic from the ads he's taking out. He sends them to a webinar, and the webinar is basically a PowerPoint presentation. And so he's saying these things are in his PowerPoint presentation. But much like the Grant Cardone video that I first reacted to, the first video of the series, like the average person in the audience can't relate to these examples. So like why not do a sample, like, okay, and then if you haven't worked with Microsoft, you know, if you haven't made $800 million churning and burning on ad accounts and doing crazy shit on the internet, you know, this is, you know, how a normal person could sort of present success, right? But
I think it was
it doesn't matter. So all right, so we get to see how he brags about himself during the sales process here.
what, 600,000 to 15 million. He's a buddy of mine. I didn't even charge him. And then I talked to him how I got 26% more traffic for him. And then I talk about how I learned all these tactics the hard way, right? What I'm going to show you today is all the tactics that I've learned the hard way. But beautiful part for you guys, you don't have to waste the millions of dollars that I did, and you can learn them all now.
Did it really cost you millions of dollars to learn these things? I feel like that's quite a claim.
And here are the 3 secrets I'm going to teach you. I quickly go over them, and then I go into secret number 1. The first thing is if you want people to buy from your site, you got to collect emails. I go into lead magnet. Right, here's an example of Ramit Sethi, how he collects emails. And then I also go into how emails are my number 1 channel. No matter what, it drives consistent traffic. Here's 103,000 unique visitors that I'm getting from emails. And I talk about no matter what, it converts. It's my number 1 channel, right? It's the highest converting channel by far. And
this isn't new. Jenna Kutcher, Amy Porterfield, all these other people have always talked about building the email list, right? Being valuable. So this is not new if you've been on this channel for a while watching these videos, right? Build your email list. It's a valuable list because you can, it's the only way you can directly reach out to someone after they've been to your website is if they've left their email, right? Or if they've left their phone number for a text message.
And even though it doesn't make up the majority of my traffic, if you look at search, etc., emails still drive more revenue than anything else. I think it's like by 40-something%. And I have stats. I skipped on like half the slides in this presentation, right?
Yeah.
And then I talk about a friend, Sarah Underwood, how she started selling a coffee table book. She's a playmate. It was pretty much half-naked coffee table books. But it was through emails, and she sold a shitload, right? And then I talk about how you got to collect emails. And here's some quick ways you can do it. You can do pop-ups. Here's one of mine. Step-by-step guide to getting monster traffic. Do you want more traffic? Yes or no? When you click yes, what do you think I tell you?
Give me your email.
Name and email, and I'll teach.
And I love the sort of manipulative nature of, no, I have enough traffic. I don't know. It's something called dark patterns that you'll see. So something will pop up and it forces you to click on something like that to close out the window. Ugh,
I'll teach you how to double your traffic in 30 days. When you click no, what do you think I tell you? Congratulations on having massive traffic. Putting your name and email.
Gross. That's so fucking condescending. Maybe I just don't want to give you my email.
I'll teach you how to convert those visitors into customers. You see, it's pretty clever.
It's kind of manipulative and gross, but like, okay, we can call it clever.
Affiliate tricks here and there. Give myself a pat on the back.
Oh my God, this guy's insufferable.
All right. So when you implement these tactics, you'll see results. And then I go into, this is after I went over secret 1, 2, and 3. Do you guys all still following along? It starts getting really interesting.
I can kind of hear a low murmur. I don't know if just everyone in the crowd is talking or if it's just a very big crowd and that's just the background noise, but.
And then I go into like how I taught you all these things. And now I'm like, did you find this valuable? I do this in the chat. So Webinar Jam has a chat feature and they say, yes. I'm still on this slide. I'm like, did you find this? Yes. You want me to teach you something else or talk to you about something else that you'll find also interesting? If you don't want me to, just say no in the chat. And everyone in the chat, what did they say? Yes, yes, please show me, Neil. Why do you think I do this? I'm
getting them and yeah, well, you're also manipulating them. It's kind of like how Brian Carruthers in the sales video that we watched where he did sales calls. When he was talking to people, he said, hey, I want to send you this video about my company. It's about 20 minutes long. Do you think you can watch it tonight? Do you think you can watch it right now? Okay. And since it's 20 minutes long, I'm going to give you a call in 20 minutes and see what you thought about it and see if you have any questions. And so the reason that he did that was to kind of see how compliant the person was, right? And so I think what he's doing here is he's like making people beg for it in the chat. He's seeing how much on the hook they are So if he says, oh, I can give you this extra information, do you want it? Please, type yes in the chat. Like, to me, that seems really manipulative. You don't need to do these stupid tricks to get them interested. I need you to be aware, if you're watching this video, that I know a lot about the sketchy shit that can be done to get traffic to websites. I'll give you an example of one just so you know what I'm talking about. So there was this thing, it was mostly big a few years ago. It was called article spinning. So back in like 2010-ish, there was all these websites that basically wanted articles on them because content equals traffic, right? So what you would do is you would write an article, about, I don't know, let's pretend I have a yoga studio. So I'd write an article about the health benefits of yoga for middle-aged women or something. So I'd write that article and then I would post it on these article directories like hubpages.com, I think was one of them. So let's say I wrote an article, I put it on Hub Pages. Now, what people don't want to do, right, is rewrite the article. So there was this software and you would put your article in and you'd be like, okay, these words can substitute for these words. Check off the rearrange paragraphs button and then click run. And it would take the article I wrote, it would write a different title, and it would switch enough words around and move enough things around to try to fool Google that it was a different article. Take that article, put it on another website. Again, linking back to my yoga studio. People would, spin content to basically write one article and try to get, 10 completely different articles out of it, even if sometimes those articles didn't entirely make sense. And I'm aware that these shortcuts exist, but I'm also aware that search engines are on the lookout for them. And if they discover or even think that you're doing them, they're going to ding you. Like, I had a friend of mine who had a blog and she wasn't doing anything, but for some reason, Google thought that she was kind of like a link farm, basically linking to other websites in exchange for payment. She wasn't, but she was off of Google for like almost 8 months. And she basically lost 90% of her income that was coming off of her blog because Google blacklisted her. Her website was still online. You could type in her website and you would still get to it. But as far as Google was concerned, didn't exist for the better part of a year. So I'm not willing to do stupid shit, especially if someone is paying me. What I want to make sure is that I'm doing things that the search engine actually likes and that stand the test of time, so that if the client hires me for 6 months, that I do a bunch of work and that those benefits continue even after my contract ends. I'm a good person and I know what bad people are doing and I'm not willing to do it. And I've definitely parted ways with some potential clients over not being willing to do some of this stuff. But, here I am 15 years later, still in business. So anyway.
Getting them engaged. When I get them engaged, what are they more likely to do? Buy. When I get them engaged, what are they more likely to do? Buy. That's right. So then I say, introducing the advanced marketing program. What's inside? I stack it. I pretty much break it down, tell them the total value. Then I talk about the bonuses. Bonus number 1, implementation plan.
The money that he's putting on the screen is entirely arbitrary, right? We all know this.
Surprise number 2, private video lesson that teaches you how to get 1 million visitors a month on your blog, right?
How can something be a private training video? Are you it doesn't sound like one-on-one training. It sounds pre-recorded, but how is it being private? Like, who cares if I'm sitting alone watching it? I don't care if you've recorded it in front of a crowd or if you've just recorded it by yourself. What do I care?
All teaching you how to create a blog without spending a single dollar on paid advertising. You think that's valuable, right? $2,000. I'm going to give that away for you for free. And then I give an overview again of what are you going to get. Surprise bonus number 3, a Facebook group. You can get in there and my group, my team will all help you out. You can streamline this. The group starts helping each other out, right? Then inside the Facebook group, and then I show examples of this, someone answering a Q&A. Then I talk about how there's a money back guarantee. If you're not happy, you get your money back. What's the beautiful part if you sell this in Japan?
You don't have to give people their money back. Ha 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 ha.
No one does refunds. It's against, it goes against the grain of their culture. I'm not saying you should abuse it. I'm
not saying you should abuse it, but I made a joke about it twice. Yeah.
use it. It's funny when people say they're unhappy, I just give them their money back, even if it's after like 90 days. But
wow, what a guy.
you don't have to do that if you don't want to do it. Then I go into bonus number 4. Want to do this all from scratch? So hard. You have to hire the right people. I'll just give you my Rolodex. People who are really good at what
My $1 million Rolodex.
they do for pennies on the dollar, like that Volvo guy. Cheap labor, right? Amazing at what he does.
Here's a list of people you can exploit. It's worth $1 million to me because that's the money I've saved by exploiting them.
And
what I don't get, though, is that these people can afford to pay market rate for something. Why wouldn't you do that? Don't we want Volvo to make a living wage? Right?
And then I get into, hey, I didn't go over the Rolodex, right? So I'm going to let you a little secret. Have you ever wondered how I get to 1 million visitors? I talked about how it's through infographics, and I paid people pennies on the dollars for the infographics.
I exploit designers and I get traffic from paying them pennies on the dollar. I really hate it when people use this language to talk about the labor of other people. It's one thing if you're like, hey, I went to a thrift store and I bought this thrifted purse and, you know, it should be worth like $50, but I paid $5 for it. Like, this is amazing. But talking about people like they're a bargain, it just feels really gross to me.
And then I give you an overview of what you're going to get. $22,000. That's a lot of money, right? For all this stuff.
That's a lot of arbitrary value you're assigning to this.
Would you say that's a good deal at $5,000? That is. But I'm not going to even make you pay $5,000.
I'm not going to make you pay $4,000. This is like an infomercial trick here. For today only, you can get one of these for $9.97 and we'll send you a second one for a friend.
Not even $3,000, because you know what? You came here, you saw me speak, more so you saw me on my webinar. Still works. So if you get started right now, I can only guarantee that this will be available right now. This is when I show the buy button.
Yeah, let's create some scarcity. Let's make people decide to spend $1,000 very quickly by saying it's only available right now. Gross.
You can get started today for $9.97. That converts really well.
Yeah, you've said
right?
that.
And then I go into testimonials, right? Here's someone, they're happy. Another person, they're happy. This person actually bought a house because they made more money through my shit. Here's another guy. He decided to quit his agency, work for me. And again, I'm like,
he quit his agency to work for you. So he didn't make enough money to start his own agency?
This is amazing stuff.
Interesting.
People are getting amazing results. And then in the chat, people are like, because you can pre-program the chat, they're like, thank you, Neil, I'm in the program. Love it.
So you're having fake people in the chat, like pretending that they're real? This is gross. Wow, this is another level of gross I was not expecting.
Awesome, amazing, right? And then I'm like, again, buy button. And you know what? After I do this, then I go into Q&A, and the Q&A is usually a lot of questions related to the program. So how well do you think this converts? For every 100 webinar signups, how many sales do you think I'm getting?
God, probably 30.
Take a guess. I can't hear you. Take a guess. 10 would be amazing. If you got me 10, I would kiss you right now. I don't even care if you're a guy or a girl. I get 3.6. That's pretty good stats. 100 webinar registrations with just name and email, and I get 3.6 sales. All 100 don't even show up to watch a webinar. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shopify did that study, and the average e-commerce conversion rate is between like 1% and 3%. So this sounds like a little bit above 3%. So it sounds average-ish. And the Shopify data, I think, was looking at 2 million Shopify websites. So that might be different across different industries or across different countries or whatever. But I thought that's like a pretty average number if you're trying to think about, is my site converting well or not? Between 1% and 3%.
It's almost unbelievable, right? Some of you guys don't believe me? If you don't believe me, go to neilpatel.com, sign up for the webinar. I bet you I'll convert at least 3.6 of you. It really works. I did that, and I was at Online Marketing Rockstars. There was 4,500 people in the audience. I had over 400 webinar registrations, and people in the audience were like, I don't believe that this works, and I was just counting myself. I'm like, damn it, I should have charged euros because all these people, euros is worth more than dollars.
I love the combination of both bragging and contempt for the customer. Good job, Neil.
That was my mistake.
God.
So you're going to get half your sales from the webinar. And then the other half you're going to get at the end, like through your email sequence. So I use Infusionsoft, 7-day email sequence. Last 2 days of the sequence is a countdown clock. I use something called Plus This. Have you guys heard of that? Plus This puts a countdown timer in an email. So it countdowns and it makes the links expire. So it creates a sense of urgency, which
let's create some urgency.
Causes people to buy.
Yep, gross.
Right? And then you also want to segment your list. So that's
segment your he threw that in there. You also want to segment your list. What categories are we segmenting the list by? By people who keep reading the emails, by country, by people who clicked versus people who didn't. Like, what are we segmenting by here?
That's pretty much it. There's some few cool tricks that you can do too. When people don't attend the webinar, I'm going to give you a few more. So
when people don't attend the webinar, you pretend that you have an assistant and you say, you know, hey, Nicole, my name's Deborah, and, you know, Neil asked me to email you. He saw that you weren't at the webinar. I feel like Russell Hartley, like, has this as part of his sequence to get people into his pickup course. That's what I'm guessing he's going to do.
People don't attend the webinar, use a software called Pick Snippets. It's $47. I don't own it. I don't own any of this shit. I won't make money from this, but Pick Snippets, $47.
Oh, he's saying he doesn't own that company. Okay.
And it'll send you an email. Like, what's your name? Asian dude in the front. There's so many Asians here. What's your name? Huh? Chris? That's not an Asian name.
Your name is Neil. Just saying. It's not like you have this like amazingly unusual for an American name.
We'll take it though. All right, so Chris here. If you didn't attend the webinar, it's me holding up a sign in a jacket, and I email you, and it says with me with a sad face, like, and it says, "Why didn't you attend the webinar, Chris?" Like,
did I call it or did I call it? See, I understand these manipulation tactics. I just refuse to use them. Okay. Like, I need you to know that if you're watching these videos and you're like, oh, Nicole's not a big guru, you know, she doesn't have a big audience. It's because I'm not willing to do this kind of shit. I'm not willing to do it. And if it takes me longer to get there, so fucking be it.
Like, question mark, is there something wrong? Pick Snippets writes it out in like handwritten text and it inserts your name dynamically. It's really good. It makes you think I wrote it manually, and then you click on it and usually convert later. You should try it. Again, don't believe me? Don't watch the webinar. Sign up for it. Don't watch it. You'll get that email and then you'll buy. All right. Another cool thing that
this is so much grosser than I thought it was going to be, because his shorter videos are very educational and sort of like tutorial like, but this long form content, you really see kind of how these people really think. And gross, Neil.
That I do is I ask for a phone number when people register for a webinar. All right, check this out. So,
okay, an hour before the webinar starts, he's going to text. That's what I'm guessing.
There's this thing called Turbo Dial. How many of you guys heard of Turbo Dial? No one? Oh my God, you guys are going to spam the shit out of this. All right. So what Turbo Dial does is it'll go and collect all the phone numbers, and then it'll message all the people who didn't buy that saw the buy button, but they didn't click, or they clicked and they didn't buy. It's all automated. And it'll say, I'll text you the next day automatically. And I'll just say, Chris, question mark, or random number. Chris, what would you do if you got a number texting you with Chris, question mark?
Oh, this is so gross. Because you're getting a random text message. So you're thinking like, oh, maybe this is, you know, that new friend I met at the party. Or maybe this is, you know, a potential client or something who got my name from somebody. So you're going to answer politely because you don't know who this person is. Oh, this is gross.
Exactly. He would say, who is this?
Yeah.
Are you affiliate marketer, Chris? No? If he was, I would be like, look, I duped you with other tricks. Okay, but imagine Chris is an affiliate marketer. So he's going to say, who is this? Someone responds back. Technically, it's automated. It's like, hey, this is Andre from Neil Patel's team. Neil noticed you watched a webinar. He wanted me to follow up with you to see if you had any questions. I
know all your tricks, okay, gurus? I know this kind of shit. And it's people and tactics like this that give marketing a bad name. Marketing done well is building a relationship, it's offering value, it's helping businesses and nonprofits, get more money, more buy-in from their stakeholders, or whatever it is they want. Marketing done like this is manipulating people into spending money and manipulating people and how they feel about their interpersonal relationships and exploiting that. And I hate this. I hate this so much.
Once they start responding, the sales guy gets there, picks up the phone, starts calling and closing. Works like a charm. And you can do that for almost anything. But the key is, I've tested the crap out of this. Always do it the next day. Don't send the text right away. It's too pushy.
Yep.
Always the next day.
Yep. I once was trying to show a potential client, they had an automated texting service, and I had signed up through their website because I wanted to see what the automated sequence was like. And within 5 minutes of signing up, I gave my phone number. I got 4 text messages from the company in 5 minutes. I sent a screenshot to the guy and I said, listen, we got to talk about this. This is way too aggressive. And, the idea of keeping this on my phone and continuing to get text messages in the next few days, I'm not sure if I want to do that, even to get this job, to show you like what I would do differently. This is way too aggressive. And so, yeah, by waiting a day, it is less aggressive.
Okay. And then the other cool thing is when I do webinar jam, I start the webinar every 15 minutes on the clock, and I have a countdown timer on the page.
And it just refreshes.
It's going based off the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it every 15 minutes, you know what my show up rate for a webinar is? Almost 70%. So for every 100 people that register, at least 70 will show up because I have a live webinar going every 15 minutes. And then I have people in the chat room 24 hours a day. I got them from the Philippines. Love Asia, good labor costs.
Yep. I just exploit people from other places that I get to pay less money.
We pay them well. And
he had to say that at the end. He realized how that sounded, and so he added that at the end.
What we ended up doing is we got them in the Philippines. They're in the chat room 24 hours a day, and they're messaging people, helping them. And they message them like, hey, Chris, while you're watching the webinar, feel free to tell me your website URL. I don't mind giving you live feedback and giving you advice. By creating that interaction, more people are much more likely to buy. And you know how we make our support staff in the Philippines really good? We hire good ones and we pay them like $1,200 a month. But if they go through the program, which we give it to them for free, we then pay them an extra $1 an hour. So now they're really qualified because they know what they're selling and helping people with, and they really do try to help.
I think if you're selling the program, like you should have gone through the program so that you know the program. I feel like that should be part of the job training, is you should be paid to go through the program. Like that should just be part of everybody's onboarding process to be able to work as a customer support person. It makes me wonder about other hiring practices Neil Patel has, to be honest.
This all works out. Now, I don't want you guys to abuse this because I know the shitty part about this is you guys are going to take up a lot of the Facebook ad inventory, and then my costs or my margins are going to go down, but I'm okay with that. I don't really care to sell products online.
I don't care about selling products online, but my whole thing is that I sell products online. You clearly do care about it, but if your margins are really good, if they get like a little less good, if you're spending $2 to make $5 and instead it becomes you spend $3 to make $5, it's really not that big of a deal.
I'm a software guy, but nonetheless, when you do this shit, it'll convert. Did you guys learn something? How many of you
guys learned how to manipulate people in a way you hadn't thought of before today? The fake chats was it for me. I was expecting everything else except that.
You guys are going to start selling digital products. It's really easy. I have a few friends that are showing me their tax numbers. Some of these guys are making around, like the shitty ones are doing around like 100, 200 grand a month in profit.
That's right. If you're shitty at your job, you're doing 100, 200 grand a month. This is so gross. It's easy.
The good guys are doing roughly like $1 million a month in profit. Isn't that way better than selling like other people's products? And then you can do upsells and downsells, and you can just start milking more and more money, but make sure.
Milking more and more money. He didn't say it, out of your customers. Okay. So this is people he's talking about here.
You're
People.
providing value. Just don't sell shit to.
You can start milking your customers, but you have to provide value. I feel like he says something and it's almost like he hears himself say it after he said it and then like tries to kind of cover it up. Hey guys, editing Nicole. Bluetooth, the batteries die, but corded headphones are forever. We're going to continue with this next week. It's funny because at the beginning he was saying that, we were going to have to do work, right? Because, affiliates are normally lazy. And then just now he said how easy this was. So, nice double speak there, Neil. Can't wait to continue next week. So, again, if you like this video, I hope you consider subscribing or interacting with the video in some way. That helps everything. And I will see you next time. Take care.